Hi guys, Lee here from Trading College with your Monday hot list review. Look at the markets, see what's setting up for the rest of this week. Last week we had the Aussie CAD, Aussie New Zealand, Aussie Swissy, all doing really well for us. This week we are starting off on the 21st of December with a stock market drop around the world in the European session. So we're going to dive into these markets, see what's setting up for the week. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel because we're going to be doing this every single Monday where we're looking at trades setting up for the rest of the week. Subscribe to the channel, guys. Make sure you click on the bell button as well. All right, so let's take a little look at the dollar because the dollar this morning, the dollar basket I'm looking at here, we had a bit of a push higher and we're trying to get this thing going. And we're seeing the euro, we're seeing the pound against the US dollar down significantly. But, you know, we're still in a red downtrend. You know, we're still not getting green. I want to see green pro trading system up, red for a few days, then a brand new PTS long, which will really give me that confidence to want to go long. But at the moment, that pattern isn't there at all. And if you look at the euro versus the US dollar, yes, it's down today. I think we're down like 40 to 50 points. It's still very bullish indeed. All right, it's still very bullish. We've got to be a little bit careful of the weekly chart because the weekly chart has got a yellow line on our storyteller, which is a two wave. And we're going to talk about two waves in 1 second. But with a two wave on the euro, you know, this is key. We need to see this continue up to that net profit target of 127.47, and if it doesn't get up there, then you know we could see a very decent size correction in the euro dollar and strength in that dollar basket. All right, so I'm watching that market. The pound, we've had some news this weekend. I mean, there's lots of news out. There's new strain of the virus. You know, borders being closed with the UK. You know, all sorts of things going on, and you know, businesses shutting down this week, restaurants shutting, pubs shutting, and the pound is getting whacked here. So the question is, you know, is this PTS sell signal red? Is it going to confirm later tonight? If it is, we'll look to short the pound US dollar. All right, so waiting for that signal for the rest of this week. So I think you've got to be a bit careful trading sterling at the moment. There's so much news driving it, and you know, you're up. I mean, it's dropped about 180 pips today, and so you know, make sure you position size correctly. Let's take a look at the stock market because that's really where it's all at. The Dow Jones Industrial Average. Let's take a little look at this market. Now, if you've been part of the newsletter, if you've been part of the the YouTube channel, at times I've been looking at this thinking, can this really go any higher? And the way I trade is I look at charts. I'm a chartist, I'm a technical analyst. I'm looking at patterns on a chart because the price never lies on a chart. So as the Dow continued to make higher highs, the storyteller was making lower highs, and we got this yellow line kicking in telling us this was the final nail in the coffin, I think, for this bull run here. Now, I know everyone's bullish and everyone wants to be long stocks, I know, but the pattern is there. Now, the pattern, if we get this red PTS, then we're going to drop all the way down to 28,474. The pattern from a technical point of view that's telling me that the reversal, or there was the chance that the stock market will roll over or would roll over, is the ending diagonal pattern. So take a look at the ending diagonal. So what I've done here, this is the 4-hour chart. Let's just get this in a little bit for us here. Okay, so here we are with the ending diagonal. Now trend lines, we need two reference points. 1, 2, 1, 2. But we've got more. There's another one there, there's another one there, there's another one there. What happens with an ending diagonal is that trend line underneath actually turns up, where the one above the highs actually flattens off a little bit. And what it's doing, it's contracting the price as we start to get narrower and narrower. Now, the key for an ending diagonal, I'm not saying this is in the textbooks of technical analysis, but the key for me is that breakout, fake out of that top trend line. When you get an ending diagonal, it's telling you that it's ending a trend, but then that final throw over, that final breakout, which is a fake out of that top trend line, is another clue that the market could roll back down into the middle of the pattern and then push further to the downside. Now, the actual target for an ending diagonal is the original start of it. So we would say that's around here. Now that comes to here. So let me just show you there again. So there's the high, there's the high of it, there's the low, and this is where we start to make our higher highs, higher lows. There's the start of it. So if we bring that to this area here, well, that comes in with a nice support area, pro trend system target of 28,975. So I'm looking for this market to get down to 28,975, and then we'll re-establish or have a look to see where we could be going from there. Okay, Monday, 21st of December. Do we start to see a major stock market sell-off? We're already seeing it in the European session. Is there more to come in the US? I think there is, probably. And I'm looking for more shorting opportunities to the downside. So good move down. And yeah, looking pretty good. So we wait and see if that wants to play out, if you're not already short. The Nasdaq, now, you know, it's been the market that's been leading everything tech. It's been great. It really has. It's been an incredible bull market. And you look at this daily chart, and we're just back to a bit of support here from the highs of September. And you think, well, is there a major downtrend here? No. Does it look like it wants to roll over? No. But, you know, we are seeing a few two waves down at the low here, and it's not the greatest of angles. We like to see that 45 degrees when it's a two wave. So, you know, we're going to find out. We're seeing cracks in the European session. It's too early to say we're in a new major move to the downside. We just have to wait a little bit later today, only today. All right, so the Dow for me is not turned red yet, but the key for the Dow is 13,000. If we break and close through 13,000, we will make a lower low. Okay, so we break that, we turn red, and we can then really flush. Now the storyteller on this one is it's better than the Nasdaq's two wave, i.e. the angle is a little bit steep, and not as steep as this one here, but we could get this going. All right, and I'm watching for this to see if we get red. We're at loads of support. Of course we're at loads of support, because if the stock market's been bullish for a long time, which it has done, we have support under the price, of course, with major moving averages, previous pivot highs, previous support areas. There's a lot of support underneath the price. And it's got to get through that support. So I'm watching, you know, if we can get through those support areas, the bulls will be defending it. So we shall see if we drop lower. Okay, now it's going to be one hell of a recovery on the Dow if we do reverse this 500 point sell-off that we're seeing today. Let's have a little look at the FTSE, because that was lagging recently. You look at the one-day FTSE, this three wave, we was steeper, high, lower high, as we made higher highs. So this correction is just completely normal. We shall see if that wants to turn into something more. And I think because the FTSE's been lagging so much, you know, you'll probably see that drop even further. And a lot of people talk about the pound against the dollar. When that pushes higher, you know, the FTSE will go lower and vice versa. And we're not seeing that today, are we? Of course, we're seeing pound US dollar down, and we're seeing the FTSE down as well. So that's why it's good that you trade those charts, guys. Keep your eye on those charts, because there's so much news at the moment out there. You could get confused, and you certainly could get stuck on the wrong side. Trade the charts, because that's where the price is, where you get in and where you get out. Gold is, I'm looking at gold here thinking, you know, gold looks really good. On the last major sell-off in the stock markets, with COVID, we saw gold actually sell off as well. But it's looking actually quite bullish here. All right, and I'm thinking if we can start to get light green on the pro trend system, 1958, 2002, 2089 are our next targets. So I'm looking at this thinking, yeah, I quite like this. If gold can stay green, PTS, you know, I think we could certainly see more upside in gold. Now, there is a major problem here I've just seen, is that we've got a trend predictor down for next week, but it's only Monday. Okay, the last trend predictor here brought gold down very nicely indeed. We've got another trend predictor, but it's only Monday, so it may not confirm. When you're using weekly charts, of course, you want to look for the confirmation at the end of the week. That's why you do your analysis at the end of the week, starting at the weekend into Monday for the rest of the week following. So this trend predictor, it will close like this maybe at the end of this week, being the 21st today. So, the yen pairs, they may well get sold off. We may see, if we start to see the stock markets rolling over, we may start to see the likes of Aussie yen and Euro yen and sterling yen start to sell off as well. Here we are on the Aussie yen. That's very much tied to the stock markets. We see Aussie yen selling off as well. If you can't afford the margin in the Dow and the DAX, then maybe the Aussie yen might be one for you, but that market is also getting some sell signals. Let's have a little look at the weekly time frame on this, because last week in our hot list update last Monday, we were looking at the Aussie pairs, wasn't we? We were looking at Aussie Swissies, Aussie CAD, and we were looking at those markets for more bullish price action during the week, and we got some lovely trades last week in those Aussie pairs. But just a little bit careful, be a little bit careful now, especially with this Aussie yen. Okay, all right. So Bitcoin, a lot of talk about Bitcoin because this market has been, just bullish from the buy signal here, 5th of October. And we're sort of setting up a shooting star candlestick. We've met profit targets on the weekly on the ProTrend system. It is a little bit extended, and often the extension comes when the 8-period moving average actually gets too far away from the current candlestick, and you get the snapback. And we should see a snapback. Now, looking forward for an investment on Bitcoin and the likes of Ethereum and Ripple and whatever, let's take a little look at those. I mean, I think if you look at this could be wave 1 in the market, wave 2 pullback, and now we're starting a wave 3. Now, look, we are seeing, do we know enough about Bitcoin and its correlation with the S&P 500? We have seen in the past Bitcoin sell off dramatically with the S&P. But I'm bullish cryptos, and I think, pullbacks are going to be buying opportunities. Of course, you've got to position size correctly, and we're starting to see some retail brokers in the UK banning cryptos. It's not them, but it's coming from the regulators. So, I don't know. I like Bitcoin. I want to be a holder of Bitcoin for a long, long time. And let's take a little look at Ethereum as well. Let's type that in. Let's go for Ether. And we're selling off quite hard today, in fact. But from the whole scheme of things on a bigger time frame, this is the monthly chart. We got up to 690 just before that. We'd sort of seen a bit of a pullback here. But the reason I like it, ProTrend system buy, but higher highs, and higher lows going on here. And the market is bullish. We're going to get pullbacks. Pullbacks, I think, are buying opportunities. All right, so I like the cryptos for 2021. Stock markets are on the brink, maybe of a really big sell-off. We'll soon see by the end of Monday, being the 21st of December, is it a red PTS? Is it a red short signal? Because if it is in the Dow, then we'll certainly see maybe a decent sized correction. And I'm looking forward to it, to be honest. I think going into 2021, volatility will increase, and I think the likes of the euro dollar, the pound US dollar, all the stock market indexes, I think it's just round 1 2020 with the volatility we've had. I think we're going to get more volatility and more opportunities in 2021. Just the final one here, the VIX had a trend predictor a few days ago, giving us that we could push up. So this isn't any surprise that we're starting to see a stock market sell off of some sort. The VIX started to push higher. Now the question is this VIX going to lead to what we saw going back in the February-March move? May well be. We could see, we've got a pro-trend system buy, we could start to see that spike higher. You cannot ignore that VIX, guys, the volatility index. It really gave us the heads up that we should see a down move today on Monday. It depends really how violent this move is going to be in the stock market to the downside. We shall see. It may not, it just may close green on the PTS and the Dow continues to push higher. But I think this is, the stock markets are where we need to focus our attention going into the Christmas period this Friday. All right, have a great rest of the day. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. It's going to be an exciting 2021, and we'll see where these markets end up this week, guys. Speak soon.